Alrighty, we are actually live on YouTube. So, really excited to get started. Thank you all for joining us. We are going to go ahead and without any further ado, we're live. So, hi everyone. I'm so glad you're ready. We are actually live on YouTube. All right, give us one moment. All right, we had some feedback there. So hopefully you can hear me. I was hearing myself double. I don't need to hear myself twice. So I think we got that fixed and figured out. Hopefully you're not hearing me double. But welcome back. Thank you so much. I'm so excited everybody is here. February, it usually is the point where January energy sometimes fades. So that's why I'm excited to spend a little bit of time with you here today. And you've already thought about your money this year, you're more aware of what matters and things like that. But sometimes money can still feel like something you're carrying around, like in the back of your pocket or something on the back of your mind. Like, so today is not about resolutions or goals or doing more or anything like that. It's really about understanding why money, especially stock compensation, can still feel stressful even when you earn well. So, we want to talk about what a functional financial system actually looks like for someone like you. So, this is something I see constantly with my high earning women in biotech. You are paid well, you are smart, and you deserve it, but your compensation is layered. So, sometimes we have, a salary and there are bonuses, and then you have maybe some RSUs that are going to vest and some options on your stocks. And on paper, everything looks pretty solid, maybe a little confusing, but pretty solid. But in real life, money still feels like something you're managing in the background. So, and it is not because you're doing anything wrong. Please don't take that away. It's just because the pieces don't always work together, if you will. And so, if stock compensation ever feels like it just disappears, this is usually why what we see happen. So usually the stock arrives, a bill gets paid, things get caught up, all of a sudden happened to be your credit card was super high that month, and oh, that's great. The stock, my stock compensation came in, so I'll just catch up on that. And life feels a little smoother for a minute. And then later on, you think back like, wait a minute. I thought this stock was supposed to help me get ahead. I thought I was going to do that vacation. I thought I was going to do this. Nothing went wrong. It's just that the money didn't have that clear role. So, this is the most important idea we're going to talk about today. And it's very simple. A real financial system starts with one clear distinction. Some money is for living on, and some money is meant to be used differently. So, when that line is clear, the stock ends up, you know, doing what it's supposed to do. When it's not clear, the stock compensation that comes in, those vested shares or anything like that, it ends up trying to do both. And that's when it just doesn't really work. So, hopefully, if you take nothing away today, think about your money and your income and your whole compensation package. Some of it's to live on, some of it's to be used differently. So when you're getting that those RSUs are vesting, that doesn't mean you just have to increase your lifestyle. That might be something different that you had planned for it. So when I say financial system, I'm not talking about it has to be something complex or rigid or something you don't want to do. For high earning women with stock compensation, a functional system almost always comes down to three simple buckets, and each one has a very specific job. So that's what this session is about, creating a plan that works financially and feels aligned with who you are. So when we look at a functional system, bucket number one, what's that going to be? Your lifestyle. And it's going to run on your salary. So this is your day-to-day life, your bills, your normal spending, your predictable savings. When this bucket is working well, your lifestyle doesn't need stock to feel okay. So because, and we know we are like, when we're talking about high earning biotech professionals, you usually have a nice base salary, right? So the salary is taking care of that lifestyle. This bucket is intentionally boring, if you will, like boring. It's just exactly what you want here. You just want it to, make the month to month feel very steady, Nothing, you're not waiting on some kind of extra compensation or bonus or something for your month to month. Your paycheck, if all works well, should just cover that. The second bucket is what I like to call life happens money. So this is the money that handles the messy kind of in the middle. So timing issues of big expense or a one-off expense of something. I mean, right now, as I'm speaking, hopefully you can't hear it in the background, we had to get a new water heater put in. So, that was not necessarily what I had thought we were going to do in February, but things happen, and so you do. This is stuff that doesn't fit neatly into a monthly plan. So it's not an emergency fund, like where it's emergency only. It's not stock. This is simply money you use so the stock doesn't have to clean up the mess later. So this bucket exists. So you never have to say, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, well, once my stocks get here in February or March, I'll clean that up. I'll catch that up later. I'm gonna just ignore it till then. And then when that comes, I'll just let it clean up. And a lot of times what we see is even if you're earmarking or thinking of it that way, sometimes we think of like two or three things and we forgot that all those things are what we had planned for that catch up. And then it vests and it's like, oh, where did all my money go? I already promised it away. So that's what we're going to try to avoid. And the third bucket is that stock. And the key here is that the stock has a job. And when we say stock compensation, let's just break it down this way, like depending on what kind, but when we were talking about this, like an RSU, restricted stock unit, just imagine instead of like you get another extra paycheck and that paycheck is in stocks. I mean, it's really what it is. Like if it's going to vest, you don't have any choices. These are different from options and things like that. But if we're talking about RSUs, which we see a lot in our biotech companies, these are, these paychecks, just imagine it's paid in stock. You're going to do some tax stuff with it. You're going to put it in somewhere. It's going to happen. You're going to get paid in stock. So it's not really designed to be, if we're putting this in the right structure, a backup income. It's not cleanup money. It's not there to make, just today feel okay. In a working system that is very intentional, and what we see the most success with our high earning biotech professionals is building long-term wealth. So creating a future flexibility or like optionality, if you will, and also supporting a specific intentional goal. So just keep in mind this way. Stock is not here. Your stock compensation isn't necessarily here to fix the present if we're going to operate in an optimal way. It's here to expand what's possible later. Not fix the present, expand what's possible later. So when these three buckets exist, things start to feel a lot different. Your salary runs your lifestyle. Life happen money sits on the side and handles the messy stuff you can't really predict. And stock gets to focus on the future and things that you want to do. And future does not mean 65, 70 years old, when you retire. Future is just like not now. So maybe it's something you were planning to do, take your family to, I don't know, South Africa for in 5 years or something. That's my family's goal. But whatever your goal is, just something that you're planning to do in the future, you could kind of earmark and know, okay, when I get this, that's what this is going to be used for. So this week, I don't want you to necessarily change anything. I want you to just answer this honestly. Which bucket is my stock compensation currently being forced into? Even if I didn't mean for it to be. There's no right answer or wrong answer. The answer is just explains exactly why this has felt stressful for you, if it has. Okay, so we don't need to build this perfectly and you don't need to set it up alone. A financial system is like, it's not about like willpower or discipline. Everybody, like, oh, I just didn't do it because I didn't have the willpower. Yeah, the willpower or even the discipline. It's about having the right structure in place and the right support to make sure it happens. So, if this helped you see things, maybe why things have felt messy and what a calmer setup could look like, that's a first step. Congratulate yourself, pat yourself on the back. That will be enough. And whenever you're ready, this is exactly the kind of thing you can walk through with your financial professional. This is what we do with our clients. So you're not carrying all of this alone. That's what it's really meant to love your money back. That's why that was the title of this. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Hopefully, this helped you with a few things you can walk away with, a few tips and tricks. And even if you could just commit to yourself, I want to be in control of where my stock compensation goes. I am going to tell it where to go. I am not going to let it do what it wants and clean up things that I didn't have, that I didn't expect. I want to tell it what to do and how it's going to help me reach my goals. So thank you for joining again. I am April Pope, Certified Financial Planner and Personal CFO. Enjoy the rest of your day.